Mortgage is typically the largest expense that Americans have. Did you know it's possible to drastically decrease or eliminate your mortgage? We haven't had to pay mortgage or rent in over a year now. Stay tuned so you can see how you can do it too.
Hi guys,
I'm Tassine.
And I'm John. Welcome back to Millennial Fire, where we give you guys practical tips on reaching financial independence and early retirement. So, how exactly is it possible that we've gone over a year now without having to pay a mortgage or rent out of pocket? The answer to this is house hacking. So, what is house hacking? House hacking is a term coined by Brandon Turner of BiggerPockets, amazing YouTube channel and podcast, by the way. But yes, it's a term that basically means that you have a property that you have a mortgage on that you invite renters to come to help pay and cover your mortgage. And so we've been able to do this to the point that we have our renters covering our mortgages completely. And it's been an awesome experience because now we've been able to eliminate that part of our monthly debt. And now that amount of money that we spent on that debt can now go toward investing, which brings us even closer to our financial independence goal. And so we want to share some of these tips that we've been through with you guys because we actually happen to accidentally fall into house hacking. And now that we realize that it's a great way to live. And even for the people that don't currently have a mortgage or a house, maybe you can use some of these tricks to get into having your first home. And so we want to start with tip number 1.
And the first way that we incorporated house hacking into our lifestyles was by leasing a room. And the way that we fell into leasing a room wasn't really because we were looking for renters or anything like that. We kind of, like John said, we kind of fell into it. He had a friend that was in a rough situation. He was still in college and his housing situation wasn't working out. So we offered that he could come live with us because we had been living in our house for about a year. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. And we realized that we only used about a third of our house anyway. So we had a one room that was furnished. The other room was completely empty. And we barely even went in those rooms, only to maybe vacuum the corners of the walls so they didn't get cobwebs. And so we were like, yeah, come on, move in. And we didn't charge him much because he was still in college. We charged him just enough to cover some of our utility payments, which we charged him $100 a month at that time. And once he graduated, we let him know that, hey, you can, this living experience has been great. We've had no issues. We've lived together great. Sometimes we don't even know he's there. And so we offered him to stay once he got on his feet. We gave him a couple months to get a job, and we were going to charge him real rent at that point. And so we charged him $600 a month once he got a job out of college. And at that point, our mortgage with principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, it came up to be $1,344 a month. And so with his $600 a month, he covered a little under half of our mortgage payment. So we only had to be responsible for $744 of that, which was a big savings.
Our friend that was living there paying $600 after a few months of staying said that he had another friend that needed a place to stay. And so this other friend came and stayed in the 3rd bedroom and paid another $600. So at this point, we were receiving $1,200 in rent from living with people that didn't really change our lives much. Because we never really used that part of the house other than to clean, which I was happy not to have to do. So they moved in and they were paying $1,200 when our mortgage was around $1,300. So at this point, we're paying $100, literally $100 to live in a brand new house. We moved into this house the prior year. Everything was brand new, had just been built. No one had ever lived there. Granite countertops, tile floors, amazing. We're paying $100 a month to live there. It's hard to find anything outside of house hacking that provides you with that type of benefit for living in a home.
And right after the second person moved in, we were getting ready to make our next housing venture, which was house hacks type number 2, which is to buy a multifamily property, which is 2 to 4 units, and put down a little bit of money. So we used an FHA loan. So all we had to put down was 3.5%. And then you live in one side, because with an FHA loan, you have to live there for 1 year. And then you have a renter renting the other side of the unit, and the rent will help cover your mortgage. So the specific duplex that we did buy, we had a renter that we acquired that was already paying $13.45 a month, and our mortgage was $18.25. And so that means at this point we were now only paying 500 less than $500 to live in a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom place, which was a bit smaller than what we were before, but it was all ours. So there was nobody living in the same dwelling as we were. We just had, it was pretty much like having close neighbors. It's like living in an apartment building, but you only have one neighbor instead of, hundreds of neighbors. And after we moved out of our house, we then rented our master bedroom to someone else for $750. So at this point, our 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house was bringing $19.50 a month, and then our duplex was bringing $13.45 a month. So together, all of our mortgages were covered. All of our mortgages were covered.
It's pretty I smile every time I think about it.
So now we were living for zero money a month, like $0 a month. We didn't have to put any money towards either of our mortgages, because we have a $13.45 mortgage, which actually dropped down to $12.99 once we got a renter's insurance policy on that place. And so $12.99 for our house, our 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and $18.25 for our duplex. And so together with our income of $19.50 from one and $13.45 from the other, we actually had a little extra left over after paying all of our mortgages.
And at this point in the video, I just want to make one thing very, very clear. This is something that a lot of people could perceive as taking advantage of someone else. You, the homeowner, taking advantage of a renter. But we really like to have mutual relationships in everything that we do. We don't want to be the only ones benefit. We want to see the whole world benefit. And so in these relationships, we came to an agreement that, okay, this is the rent that you could pay to be comfortable. And it's also a benefit for you because you don't have to go down the street and pay more rent. And so this is what's comfortable for you. So we came to this mutual agreement and everybody's happy. It's a win-win situation across the board. So this brings us to the next step in our journey that we took. And this is a tip that you may not hear in the typical house hacking videos. But a really, really great tip in house hacking is step number 3, living with your parents. So, first of all, you have to put aside your pride in some things when it comes to advancing toward your future. I know a lot of people, once they have their own place, their own space, they're like, oh, I can never go back to living with my parents. But my wife and I decided that moving back in with our parents can help us set up a better future for our family and for our lives. And so we decided to do it for a while. And just like we were saying before, we make the relationship mutual. No, you please do not move back in with your parents and leech off of them. Move back in and contribute. Help pay towards the mortgage. Help pay towards the light bill. Help contribute to the house so they're also benefiting from you being there, other than looking at your pretty face every morning, because we all know parents just love to see us all the time. Love you, Ma. But but yes, it's so we've been living with our parents for it's around 2 months now.
2 months now. And like John was saying, mutually beneficial relationship. So in our case, the reason that we ended up moving in with our parents is because my dad, he made the decision, he retired and he wanted to go to Costa Rica and do a program that was going to be about 4 months in length. And so my mom, she's still working and she would be in this big 5-bedroom house by herself. And so we decided, well, we of course collaborated with my parents, and we asked if that would be helpful for us to stay with my mom so she wouldn't be by herself. And so help her with, a house, like mowing the lawn and things like that, paying bills. And then we would stay here. And we would rent out our other side of the duplex and start to save and stack and collect for our next investment. And so both parties agreed that that was a good what do you call it, a good collaboration or a good
mutual agreement.
And so that's how we made this decision to move back with our parents and have a timeline. Don't feel like you're gonna don't just move in with your parents and live there forever. But especially as we have started a debt series, especially if you're in a tight situation and you're renting and you're living pretty much paycheck to paycheck and you're in a lot of debt, this could be a great way for you to move in with your parents, maybe help a little bit with the mortgage, help a little bit with your utilities, and now you're able to make bulk payments on your debt so you can get out of debt and try to start to get ahead in life.
So I hope you guys have gained some knowledge that you could apply toward your life to help you with your mortgages and with your rent. House hacking has been really great for us, and it's going to be a pivotal tool in us reaching financial independence by 40. And so we hope that it really helped you guys. Please let us know if you have any questions. Please, if you like this content, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share. There's so many things to do these days, but yeah, but if you enjoy the content, that really helps us out. And let us know if you have any questions. The question of the day will be below, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.